All right, now we're going to welcome the first guest, Stefan Sychowski, and I'm sorry if I've mispronounced the name. So Stefan is the president of the Vancouver and District Labour Council, an organization, union regional group that represents more than 360,000 workers in many different locals in Vancouver, Richmond, North Vancouver, West Vancouver, and the surroundings. Founded in 1899, this organization developed solidarity amongst workers. They offer training and implement political action to the creation of inclusive, accessible mechanisms. In order to accomplish the mission within this organization, Stephen has temporarily left his current position, and he's now become a member in 2027 when he was at the Coast Mountain Bosque Company before being a delegate. At Move Up, he had different roles. He represented the transportation group within the Executive Council. He then became the representative for companies. I'm going to go a little bit slower. I think the interpreter has me a hard time. So public transit from the ICBC, from Burnaby English Language Centre, amongst other groups. Above and beyond his commitment for the VBLC and Move Up, Stephen has had different roles within other organizations, union organizations, community and political organizations. He is currently a member of the Executive Council of the Workers' Federation of BC and co-president of his committee in order for the community and social action. He represents the VDLC amongst or for many coalitions and many community organizations, and recently left his position at the board at United Way of the Lower Mainland that he had for many years. Stephen is also committed to parks for Maple Ridge. He is proud to be a member of the Local 2009 of those members and Move Up member. Stephen grew up close to Prince George in BC, where he discovered his passion for defense and community before moving to Vancouver in 2003. Today he lives in Maple Ridge with his wife, Erin, and his daughter, Coraline. So I'd like you to welcome, please. Warm welcome for Stephen. Thank you.
Good morning. A kind introduction. I'm so happy to be here today. As was mentioned, my name is Stefan von Sychowski. I'm the president of the Vancouver and District Labour Council. And first of all, I want to, on behalf of the Labour Council and our approximately 60,000 affiliated members, I'd like to welcome you all to Vancouver. And I have here in my notes, say something about the goddamn nightmare weather. But actually, I was going to make a joke about how bad it's been, but you must have brought sunshine with you because it was a lot nicer out there today. So thank you for that. I'm really happy to be here with you today at this convention. It's always a joy to get together in a real physical location with a room full of labor activists and leaders, especially after a couple of years where those rooms have generally been virtual ones. And I'm, of course, especially appreciative of this opportunity because I myself am a member of, or associate member of Move Up, Local 378 of this great union, and a member on leave from that local staff. So for me, this convention is very much sort of like an extended family reunion. Some of you I know and have known for a long time. Others I'm getting to meet by being here, and I appreciate the opportunity to do that. I've been asked to speak a bit today about the VDLC and about the work that we're doing, and there's certainly no lack of things I could talk about in that regard. But for this year, in particular, our key focus is really around political action. And that's because on October 15th, people right across this province are going to vote for their municipal representatives and school boards. This is a critically important election. I know we always say that, but this one really, really is. It's going to determine who's going to lead our local governments through the remainder of the pandemic and into the recovery. We'll decide whether we're going to have elected representatives who are going to put working people and families and communities first, or whether we're going to have one that's going to look to utilize the pandemic as an excuse for austerity and policies that abandon the most vulnerable in our communities and make workers pay for the pandemic, all in the interests of protecting and preserving the massive profits that have been reaped by corporations during this pandemic over the last few years. We will not accept that outcome, and we'll be working hard to ensure that we elect those who will stand for working people and ensure a just recovery and a better future for everyone. Another key focus of our work is our labor education program, which will deliver approximately 30 different courses over this year on a wide array of topics. This program is filling a crucial gap in the labor education offerings that are out there by providing affordable, accessible, and high-quality education for union members right across the region. It grows each year, and we really appreciate the support Move Up has shown in sending members and staff to these courses regularly. We welcome all of you actually to consider our courses, and you can see them on our website, because many of them are still held via Zoom, and we'll be looking at hybrid options in the future, allowing folks from anywhere in the country to participate. Next thing I want to mention is we have a number of committees that are active at our Labor Council, and we're very proud of the good work done by all of them. But given your theme of the convention this year around equity, diversity, and inclusion, I really want to take a moment to focus on one of our newest committees, our Anti-Racism Committee. Now, this committee was formed last year, and it came about very, very simply through the suggestion of a delegate at a meeting. Other delegates chimed in about how great this idea was, and so we decided to hold a few gatherings, invite members of our affiliated unions to come and talk about would they be interested in a committee like this? What would they want to see from it? Would they participate? The reaction to that was enormous. We had 3 meetings with varying levels of attendance. The biggest one was about 70 people. And so there was a tremendous interest that was shown in this kind of work. And the committee was subsequently formed by unanimous vote at one of the subsequent meetings. Seema Ahluwalia from the Federation of Post-Secondary Educators was elected as its first chairperson, and the committee set quickly to work. Its first recommendation was that when we do our territorial acknowledgement at the start of our meetings, to make that a bit more meaningful, to level that up. Talk about one of the recommendations of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, just one every meeting. Talk about what that means and how we can pursue that, how we can pursue implementing that in our work, in our workplaces, in our unions, in our movement. They've reached out and started building relationships with anti-racist organizations and with community. They've recommended guest speakers for our regular meetings. And they've educated union members about how we can build anti-racist workplaces and unions, especially through a recent online event that they held for International Workers' Day. And they're just getting started. This committee has become an important new venue for engagement in our Labor Council, and its work is an absolute positive for our council and for the labor movement across this region. And it's only one example. There's a lot of good work going on in local unions. There's a lot of good work going on in other labor councils. I'd, for example, mention the formation of an Indigenous Workers Committee at the New Westminster and District Labor Council, our neighbors, which is another great development that we're very, very happy to see. So there's a lot of good work happening around all of these areas. But it's not just about creating, I think, committees where folks come together to specifically do this work. It's also about applying this kind of a lens to everything that we do. So when I talk about our education program, we also have in that education program courses on human rights, on reconciliation, decolonization, on bullying and harassment, on accommodation. When I talk about our political action work, when we're doing our endorsements, we ask ourselves, are our endorsements supporting diverse and representative slates of candidates that represent the working class in our communities? Are we uplifting those voices that have historically been overlooked? Our candidates, do they share these values? And will they act on them when they're elected? So we apply this lens, we need to apply this lens to everything we do. And it doesn't always come easily, right? I think we all know sometimes there's difficult conversations. Sometimes there's resistance. Change can be daunting, change can be scary, and nobody's going to get it right all the time. But good on you for making this the theme of this convention, because you're doing the work. You're saying, I'm prepared to do that. I'm prepared to have those conversations. I'm prepared to work through, even if there's difficult ones. And it's important, because it's doing what's right, what accords with our values as a movement, and changing what we're accustomed to where we have to. It's an opportunity for us all to stand together, to build a better, a more inclusive, a more powerful labor movement together, one that's truly for all workers. So thank you for doing that. So I want to thank you all so much for having me here today. I hope you have a very successful convention. I'm glad to be able to be here with you to share in part of that, and look forward to talking to you all hopefully throughout the day. Thank you so much.